7 things to know about Maricopa harvester ants. If you're lucky, you might come upon a colony of tiny underground farmers in the U.S.'s parched plains. Their job is to gather seeds and fertilize the soil around them. Although they don't hunt, these little farmers are so vital to this challenging ecosystem that they can be regarded as keystone species because of their arsenal for self-defense. One of the most prevalent ant species in the U.S. state of Arizona is the Maricopa harvest ant, which may be found from Colorado to Mexico. They are thought to possess the world's most lethal insect poison. Leafcutter ants and harvester ants are related and engage in comparable agricultural activities. They didn't expend any efforts on assembling an army because they were adept at what they did and had excellent defense. Every worker have strong defenses that protect their domain. Nor are they merely farmers. They are adept builders, city managers, and scavengers. A fascinating fact about Maricopa harvester ants. 1. They work as farmers. The reason harvester ants get their name is that, like their fellow tribe members, leafcutter ants, they gather seeds in order to cultivate food for the colony. About half of their food comes from seeds, and more than a third comes from insects. However, the seeds are transported to a growth chamber within the colony and allowed to ferment rather than being eaten right away. It is believed that the majority of the colony's sustenance comes from the resultant fungus. 2. An army is not necessary. For various purposes, most ant colonies are divided into castes. Workers, queens, and soldiers typically have somewhat distinct morphologies that are appropriate for their specific roles. All but one species in the genus Pogonomyrmex do not belong to the soldier caste. The only castes in Maricopa are worker and queen. The workers' roles are to guard the colony and go foraging, which they accomplish 25 to 60 meters from the nest, whereas the queen is similar to the workers only in size. Thus, this tiny ant species uses microscopic molecules concealed inside its body to accomplish its mission without the need for soldiers. 3. The world's most poisonous insect venom may be found in Maricopa ants. For vertebrates, workers of this species are fierce adversaries. They possess one of the most toxic venoms in the world, if not the most, in addition to being aggressive and eager to defend their colonies. While their cave-dwelling counterparts are busy in the laboratory assessing the deaths of insect poisons in the same manner they determine much of what we know about the world. By killing mice, field researchers put in a great deal of effort to locate and characterize these ants for a fraction of the money. These ants employ their 20 times more poisonous venom than honeybees, which they pierce the skin with their barbed stings after grabbing hold of the skin for leverage. It is the most poisonous insecticide known to science. It can penetrate through an ant's stomach and stay under a vertebrate's skin. It is reported that 12 stings are sufficient to kill a 2-kilogram mouse. Without a certain, lab scientists will keep using pesticide to kill mice until they discover a better solution, but for the time being, Pogonomyrmex maricopa is the best. The toxin was probably created mainly to guard against vertebrates, who scavenge most of their insect meals, especially seeds used for foraging. Though extremely painful, the sting only lasts for a few hours and only slightly increases in strength due to the small amount of venom injected. 4. They are able to produce cement. This type of ant removes the top layer of vegetation from its nests in open desert environments so that the ants can forage underneath and regulate the temperature. They mine calcium carbonate from the earth beneath them and, maybe combined with their own secretions, combine it to create a strong cement that is impervious to weather and water damage, protecting them from the yearly desert winds. They then cover the entrance and form a protective cap. A system of tunnels may run a further 5 meters underneath these mounds. Though extremely painful, the sting only lasts for a few hours and only slightly increases in strength due to the small amount of venom injected. 5. They have a 20-year lifespan in the same nest. Eventually, these nests grow into mounds that can reach heights of 2 meters in certain places. These megacities ants can spend up to 20 years in one spot, clearing 7 meters of space around the mounds for feeding. Given that certain species of harvester ant queens may live an amazing 50 years and build megastructures of a similar magnitude, the queen should be able to survive this. 6. They work well in the heat. While most ants enjoy the heat, these ones are used to the extremes of the desert climate. When the temperature hits 40 degrees Celsius, even other desert species will shake things up for a snooze, but not these guys. They will forage like crazy dogs and Englishmen, content to toil in the midday sun long after their neighbors grow tired of the heat. 7. They produced a fertile island. In the past, ranchers who perceived their clearings as lost ground cover viewed harvester ants as pests. They do create these clearings on the grasslands, but it seems that they also offer hotspots for biodiversity right outside of these clearings. With their strong reputation, ants keep rivals at bay while simultaneously improving soil fertility with their abundant supply of nutrients. They may even contribute to the quick regrowth of vegetation following forest fires, according to research. As usual, these little creatures are keystone species and ecosystem architects, much more significant to their surroundings than they realize.